Hey there, welcome back to the Agents Confidential podcast. My name's Yana. Today I'm going to be doing a quick solo episode just because this week kind of got away from us. Today we're going to be talking about something a lot of agency owners say they want, but very few actually build correctly, and that is a scalable agency brand. Because the truth is, most agencies aren't going to fail because they lack agents, it's going to be because they lack structure. If your agency depends on you personally to function every single day, you don't have a scale agency yet. You have a job with helpers. So today I just want to walk you through what makes an agency scalable, from brand foundations to systems to training to operations, especially for team builders who want long-term growth, not short-term chaos. So let's get into it. Let's talk about what scalable means first, because it's often misunderstood. Scaling doesn't necessarily mean more agents, more activity, more noise, more Slack messages, more fires to put out. Scaling means more production without more chaos. A scalable agency is one that produces consistent results, onboards agents efficiently, delivers consistent client experience, has repeatable training, and can grow without overwhelming leadership. If your growth is creating stress instead of stability, your foundation needs work. And another mistake that agency owners make is they recruit first and build structure later. This order is backwards. The scalable order is brand, process, platform, then recruit. People don't scale organizations, systems do. And I want to be clear about something else. When I say brand, I don't mean logo and colors. I mean identity and positioning. So when you are thinking about your agency, ask yourself, what do we stand for? Who are we for? What kind of agent thrives in this environment? What problems do we solve? Why should someone build here instead of alone? So why should someone be a part of this agency instead of just being a solo agent? Your brand is not your marketing. It is your operating system. If your brand identity is not clear, then your recruiting message won't be either. So I'm going to put this into practical terms for you. 5 pillars of a scalable agency. And if one of these pillars is missing, then growth becomes kind of fragile. So your first pillar is a clear agent value proposition. Agents need clarity, not necessarily hype. They need to understand what support they get, what systems exist, what tools are available, what problems you remove for them, and also how you help them grow. If your value is vague, agents are going to hesitate. But if your value is specific, then agents can commit to it a lot easier. If agents have to figure it out themselves, you don't have a scalable platform. You have a loose network. Pillar number 2, you've heard me talk about this before, one of my favorite things, standard operating procedures, or SOPs. This is where most agencies resist, and it is also where a lot of the real scaling power lives. SOPs create consistency, which is essential. So here are some things that you should have written processes for to build a scalable agency. Client appointments, enrollment workflows, lead handling, follow-up timelines, renewal reviews, compliance steps, that's a big one, AEP procedures, and admin workflows. Here's a good rule for when it comes to standard operating procedures. Anything repeated more than twice should be documented. SOPs turn good intentions into repeatable performance that you can rely on. Without SOPs, every agent invites their own version of your agency, and that is going to break the way that you scale. This third pillar is a training system, not necessarily just training calls. So training calls are events. Training systems are your infrastructure. A scalable training system is going to include things like an onboarding roadmap, recorded modules, step-by-step checklists, scripts, role-based training paths, certification milestones, and field practice structure. This is going to remove the variability in how people learn your business. If your training is depending on who happens to teach you, that quality is never going to scale. Okay, pillar number 4, brand consistency at the agent level. A scalable brand gives agents tools, not just permission. So things like marketing material, email scripts, social frameworks, presentation decks, client guides, educational materials, seminar templates, follow-up templates. This is going to improve your compliance. This is going to create consistency and increase your agent confidence, which is really important. And when agents don't have to build from scratch, they can build a lot faster. And the fifth and final pillar of a scalable agency brand is an operational infrastructure. This is unglamorous, but it is the most important. Scaling is going to break weak operations. You need systems for CRM tracking, for lead flow, for client records, commission tracking, contracting workflows, support processes, reporting dashboards. You need these things. So ask yourself, if my agent count doubled tomorrow, would operations hold? If the answer is no, then that is your scaling ceiling. There's also another scaling killer here, and that is the founder bottleneck. So here are some signs if you're stuck here. Every decision goes through you. Every question comes to you. You approve everything. You solve everything. Nothing moves without you. That's not leadership, that is dependency. Your scaling is going to require delegation, decision frameworks, written standards, empowered leaders, and clear boundaries. If everything depends on you, then growth will avoid you. And also company culture. Culture is a system too. So it's not accidental. It is something that's engineered. Scalable culture includes written values, behavior expectations, performance standards, accountability rhythms, recognition systems, and communication cadence. An example of this is weekly KPI check-ins, scoreboards, that's kind of fun, tier levels, mentorship paths, recognition structures. A culture that is not defined becomes culture by accident, and culture that is defined becomes culture by design, and that's what you want in a scalable agency. So, after listening to all of these things, there's a little scaling test that I'm going to give you. Quick self-test. So get out a piece of paper if you want, or if you're driving and listening to this, just kind of, mental checklist here. Ask yourself these questions. Could someone new onboard without me personally? Is our training documented? Are our workflows written? Is agent support structured? Is performance measured consistently? Is client experience consistent across agents? Can my brand speak clearly without me explaining it? And if you answered no to most of these, your next step is not recruiting more agents. Your next step is building foundation. Scaling is not about speed, it is about structure. Build the systems first, then invite people into it. The strongest agencies don't grow because they recruit well. They grow because they're built well. If you want to scale, start documenting. Start systemizing. Start defining your standards. Your future agency is going to depend on what you write down today. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. We will see you next week, and reach out if you have any questions or want to learn more about scaling your agency. We're here to help. So tell your friends. So if you found any value in this today, then feel free to share it with another agent friend of yours, and happy building.